far left actually won the second round and actually subsequently won the entire election. So Le Pen wanted to win or be the new president of France, and unfortunately had to wait for another 5 years in 2027 to take up that particular role. In terms of civil war or conflict, geopolitical politics, we have seen a continuation of the attacks on Palestinian people. We see what's happening in Russia, Ukraine. The Russian actually attacked a children's hospital, and we need to really end all these wars. And I always say, guys, that irrespective on what side of the aisle you stand, if you're a supporter of Russia, if you're a supporter of Israel, whatever, my number one priority right here is the safety of everyone. And if we can all just live in a peaceful world, hoe lekker gaan hy nie wees nie? So once again, to the politicians out there around the world, let's stop all these wars and let's really work on peace and stability in our world, because that's basically the number one thing that we all need right now. There's one thing everyone asks for, and that's peace. I always say, even in South Africa, we didn't want fancy politicians, we didn't want rich and wealthy politicians, we didn't want the best whatever, we just want services. And we often see our politicians not delivering on that. We just want service, we want a working country, and that's all. So yeah, if you would like to get hold of us or ask a question to Ms. Sibongile around anything today revolving around Parliament, you can do so on our WhatsApp at 064 536 9095, 064 536 9095. You can also check out our Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube at Radio Eerstrewe. Our app is available on the Android App Store and the Y stores, and even visit our website at www.radioeerstrewe.co.za. Ms. Sibongile, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a long time. How are you doing today?
I am doing perfectly fine on this cold water.
Yes, cold.
Yes.
I thought you would bring me some liquor, soup or something hot with. Why not?
Okay. I think next time we must arrange for that.
Definitely.
Yes.
So we've just come out of a election period where South Africans went to the poll, an historical election where the African National Congress lost massively in terms of their majority seat. You are at the heart of Parliament when it comes to people. What is the significance for you and your department when it comes to the elected actually making their voices heard in this democracy of ours?
Okay. DEWANDRE, thank you again for inviting me. By inviting me, you this is I don't take this as an invite for the office, but I see this as an invite for us to empower members of the public out there. To respond to your question, our office is and the existence of our office is derived from the constitutional mandate of Parliament, which is to put members of the public or the electorate at the center of everything that's happening in Parliament. But going back to the question that we've just asked, that we've just about, I think it's a month and a week ago, and we've just had election and the turnout of things with the election year this year. Like you've mentioned that the governing party, in short, there was no party that got that outright majority. But with us being because our office is called Public Education Office, with us being at the center of ensuring that as a South African citizen, as an electorate, as someone who casts the vote every 5 years, it is the mandate of our office and the responsibility of our office is to ensure that you are equipped about what's happening in Parliament. So ours has been mainly to make sure that throughout the process with everything that is happening is to make the members of the public aware of how in the election year Parliament gets constituted, because your vote contributes to the establishment of the new term of Parliament. So ours has been that. It's been, I don't know in terms of the feeling, if it's been an exciting feeling, but we've had a lot of questions about what's going to be happening and so forth, like anyone else. But at the core of it is to make sure that everyone is aware and gets equipped about how parliament works.
So on the issue of elections, do you believe that people in South Africa are educated enough around how parliament or how elections actually works?
I think we have a majority of people because, like, with the nature of our work, we go out to the members of the public out there. We interact with them, so you do get like a percentage of South Africans that are aware of how parliament works and all the systems and the processes about the democratic systems. But at a larger extent, you also have a large percentage of people that do not have an understanding of how parliament works. Like, I think I like how you've posed your question, because you've also mentioned something about the elections, because there is this notion, especially about us as South African citizens, especially if you go to the grassroots level, at the bottom of the bottom, if there's such a thing, there's notion of us and them. By that I mean the us is the public representatives, the members of parliament, which is parliament, in the whole. So okay, it's us and them. Okay, them is members of parliament. The public representative that we elect to represent us in parliament. And then us as the electorate, we kind of feel that, okay, they are there. By virtue of them being there in parliament, our role ended with us casting a vote. And then anything that happens beyond or after that, we don't have any role, which is not the fact. That is just I think these are interdependence, because without your vote there would be no parliament. And then the members of parliament, they are there correctly to represent you as an electorate, but at the same time you also have a responsibility to connect or to interact with them. There are mechanisms in place that allows you to do that, but there is this notion of us and them, which is the question that I'm trying to respond to, is that the large percentage of people do not have the knowledge and the understanding of the critical role that they play in terms of how parliament works, in terms of, especially when it comes to accountability, because that's where our role, it's not just that, but I think that's where we, as public education office, we need to educate members of the public more about that. The public representatives that you have just voted for them, you have the responsibility to make them to make them be accountable for everything that's because they are the voice, but at the same time they also account to you as an electorate.
A last question on that. I don't know, you are not a politician here. You represent the education department. Yeah. A last question to you. Do you believe that our politicians who are in parliament are doing enough to actually engage with members of the public? And I understand why people might think, because I even read this on Twitter during the elections, people said, okay, we're done with our work now they must just do their work. And that's the idea that many people have. Our work ends our work ended on the 29th of May. It doesn't continue. So do you believe, in your view, and as Parliament's view, that our politicians in Parliament, that people that get 100,000 rand per month, are they doing enough in terms of really representing us in Parliament itself, but also coming back to us and saying, okay guys, we've done this for you, or just engaging with us on a continuous basis? I do know you mentioned one time that they have constituency days on Mondays, but also there are times when Parliament closes for them to have that period. Yes. But we don't see them in our areas. So do you believe they're doing enough, and what can you as Parliament do further and more to ensure that they are responsible to those of us who voted for them on the 29th of May?
Okay. I think they are meant to be on a safe side. We don't
want to get you in trouble.
Yes, I don't want to be in trouble. I think there are mechanisms in place, like you've mentioned, one constituency period, and then there is a time frame that is allocated for members of parliament to go back to their constituency,
Yeah.
to go back to the very same people that voted for them. So that mechanism on its own should be utilized by members of parliament. In terms of them not doing enough, I'm not sure whether they are not doing enough or not, but I think I just want to make an example with the recent encounter. Like the members were inducted, all members of parliament last week. And we had like members of parliament, because each of the department in parliament had an exhibition where we kind of introducing ourselves to members of parliament as public education office, because while they were engaging on their own, there were issues that were coming up about public participation. So we did get members of parliament that were interested in what we do. And there were members of parliament. I remember one of the members of parliament came to approach us, and to an extent, he even indicated that when he wants to be part of our workshops or information sessions that we run with members of the public. So that shows you that the members of parliament themselves, they want to do their work through constituency, because that is one way in which they can get to report back to members of the public. But that's what they are expected to do, especially during the constituency period. Yeah. In terms of them not doing enough, I'm not sure how to respond to that. But let me put it back to us as South African citizens and the communities in those constituencies. Because each member of parliament is allocated a constituency. So I think if I say I want to put it back to us, there is a constituency in your area.
Yeah.
In that constituency, if there are issues that you want a member of parliament to take them up, just go to that constituency and speak to the member of parliament. Go there, even if, like for instance, this is the platform where we are enriching members of the public. The program of parliament is split into two, like you indicated. There is a time when members of parliament are in parliament, parliament is in session. There is a time where members of parliament have to go back to their communities. Once the members are there, like I'm indicating now, the constituency period, go on Parliament's website and check the program of Parliament. And once you see that this is the constituency period, go to the constituency, because it's likely that you may get an administrator there, but through that administrator you can make a request to meet with the Member of Parliament. And I'm sure the Member of Parliament will respect the request and will honor the request, and then would ensure that they meet with the person that had made a request. And then that's when you'll raise the issues that are happening in your community. But I would say maybe they are doing enough. Maybe there are some who are not visible enough. Yeah. Because what I'm hearing from your question, it's the lack of visibility. Yeah, of them. So it's that. So that is why I'm saying that I want to take it back to us as members of Parliament to make them to be visible. Because when you go to the constituency office and then you request for an appointment, surely the Member of Parliament will have to honor that appointment.
Okay. Yeah. You must be very lucky that you are not a politician, because I would have praised you further on that particular question there. But further to that question as well on constituency, what we also do see is, and I think people are also not aware that Parliament gives money to parties to have a constituency offices in our areas. Like in ESRF, we have an ANC office. And people think that because it's only ANC, only members of the ANC can go there, or it's an ANC office, a political office, and not a parliamentary office.
Yes.
Once again, how do we educate our people and for them to understand that, listen here, although there's an ANC logo or whatever on the office, but it's basically a parliamentary office, represented by the ANC or by ANC parliamentarian. How do you bring that message across to people that you can still go, even though you vote for the ACDP, you vote for the DA, you vote for the Friends Front Plus, EFF, whatever, you can still go there and request meet with them, but also to bring my grievances to that MP there who's sitting in that particular office.
Okay. I think what is very interesting about your question, and especially about this interview, is the fact that because we are now in the sixth parliament, I mean the seventh parliament. The sixth parliament, and over the years, parliament has come to a realization that in terms of the branding or the feel or the look, or not even just the branding, but the look of the constituency offices, what they stand for is challenging, especially for most of the members of the public. And Parliament has embarked on a project to reimagine the constituency offices, which they are trying to address exactly what you are pointing out, that you have a constituency office here in SRF, and then that constituency office has an ANC logo, which is a governing party. And if you have not voted, or you are not affiliated to the ANC, you feel excluded, or you don't feel that you have access to it. So by Parliament embarking on this project of rebranding the constituency office, they are trying to alleviate those things, because those offices are there for anyone, whether you are it doesn't matter which political party you are affiliated to, as long as you are a member of the community in that constituency office, that office must serve you. So because of those challenges, Parliament is the sixth Parliament. I'm not sure if this is going to, maybe it's likely, it will depend on, because we have the new speaker and the new deputy speaker, because this project was championed by the old speaker, and then the presiding previous presiding officers, which I think when they go through the legacy report for the sixth Parliament, there is a likelihood that they may continue on the same project as well, because it's been a challenge for Parliament. It's been a challenge even for example, even for us as officials, because we do partner or collaborate with constituency offices, but because most of the time those constituency offices, like you're saying, they are branded as the ANC offices. So if you are seen with them, it's like, okay, it may look as if Parliament is serving this political party, but we will try to balance things out, because Democratic Alliance, especially in KZN and other provinces, they may have a different system, but they do have constituency office. Constituency offices. EFF has got its own structures of interacting or reporting back to the communities. So as officials, when we work with them, we also work through those structures. But I think I need to focus mainly on what you are asking about, that the constituency offices are there to serve each and every member of the community. It doesn't matter which political party you serve or what. And I hope this project is going to be continued, so that they rebrand not just the look. I think it's just to rebrand even the functioning. That's what Parliament is trying to do, to rebrand the functioning of those constituency offices, so that they don't deem to be the ANC offices.
A last question on that particular topic right now, constituency offices. If I, for example, want to go there to speak to a member of Parliament right now, I don't know if you're perhaps aware of who the member of Parliament in our area perhaps is, but what is the don'ts and do's? What can I go and ask him for? What can I approach them for? What are the things I can ask them to change or bring to their attention? And what are the things that I cannot bring to their attentions?
Oh, okay. I think your question, it brings in the one thing that I've been speaking about the mechanism. Like, because one of the major functions or the primary functions of Parliament also include oversight, which oversight is to oversee or to check if government is doing its work. So there is a mechanism in place, which like there is a mechanism which is called a member statement, in which the members of Parliament are allowed in the National Assembly to bring up the issues. So now, if I link that to oversight, and then I also link that to constituency work and the constituency offices. If you walk into a constituency office, you bring up the issues with you raise the issues with the member of Parliament. Maybe it could be service delivery issues, or it could be any other issues. So, because it could be any other issues, even though Parliament is mainly responsible for the lawmaking process and all of those things. But if it's a service delivery issue, they know that they can channel it to a relevant department. But for example, during the member statement, the people that have walked in the constituency offices, or even the members of Parliament hold meeting with their constituencies, the issues that are being raised there gets to go to Parliament, because the member of Parliament will raise those issues once there's an opportunity for them to make those statements, the member statement. So in that way, Parliament would enable Parliament to conduct oversight over government, because it could be the issue, it could be a service issue, or it could be an issue that would require Parliament to call a minister, because Parliament has the right, according to Constitution, to call the minister, and then based on the issues that are coming out from the member statement, and then raise it and ask them questions. By asking them questions, they are holding them accountable. So these systems or these mechanisms are interconnected, because you see, you've used your constitutional right to speak to the member through a mechanism which is a constituency. And then from there is a mechanism that allows for a member of Parliament to take the issue back to Parliament. And then once that Parliament has been taken back to Parliament, and then it allows Parliament to do its work. Because, like, for example, like I'm saying, they can see maybe there are common issues that are coming out from the member statement. So we need to find out what is happening in the Department of Social Development. Maybe there are issues that are related to the Department of Social Development. And then they call the Minister of Social Development. The Minister of Social Development will have to respond to those questions in Parliament. So it's any issues, but those issues assist Parliament to do its work.
Okay. The last question on constituencies. If I go to any office right now and I don't get any response or any assistance from any other channel that the members of the public can go to if they don't want to help you there at particular offices?
At the constituency office. So they don't want to help you, whether it's an official there.
Yeah, maybe the weather it was raining like now, and they said, no, go away. We're getting cold. We can't help people today. What happens at that particular point? Either maybe the administrator or the official or even the MP itself. Where can I then go as a member of public if they fail to assist me with whatever I might have wanted to arrange with them?
Okay, I think it's still knowing and understanding the mechanisms that are there in place, because people get frustrated, even not just about the constituency offices, even with the municipality themselves, because, like, for instance, you can write to Parliament. You can, if there are issues and then your issues are not being attended to. I want to put it like that. Whether the issues, because if someone refuses to attend to you, I'm not sure if you would want to lay a complaint or you still want to take the issue up. Yeah. So you can, if your issue is not being attended at the constituency level or even at the municipality level, write a submission to Parliament, but be sure that there are documents. Because you would have been to the municipality, for example, or you've been to the constituency offices, whether you wrote emails, put that as attachment, and so that Parliament can see that you have gone through many channels, and then in that way they can respond. So that to avoid a situation where you get a response where it says, did you speak to the municipality? This is a municipality issue. But they would have seen that you've knocked on this door from municipality, you moved from municipality, you went to the legislature because you can go to the legislature. But from what I'm hearing, you are more interested on the constituency. What if the constituency is not assisting you? What happens there? I think I don't want to give
wrong information. I'm not sure, but the only safest way, and then the only answer that I can give is to say, if you are not getting help, you can write to Parliament at any point in submissions, because submissions are not only limited to when there is public comment, for example.
Yes, at any point in time when you feel that this issue is not being attended to, you can take it up to national Parliament. Yeah.
Okay, so thank you, Mr. Mngile, for that. I'm going to go for a quick end break, guys. When you come back, we're going to continue the discussion around the important role of Parliament in South Africa's democracy. I'm speaking to Mr. Mngile from Parliament's Education Department. Do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hey, Mr. Brown, feeling down? Listen to the leading internet radio station in Cape Town. Verpletter plezier, luister naar Radio Eerste Rivier. Dis ons stasie, ons talent en julle bly lekker, onze mense.
Ticket to anywhere, maybe we make a deal. Maybe together we can get somewhere. Any place is better. Starting from zero, got nothing to lose. Maybe we'll make something. Me, myself, I got nothing to prove. You got a fast car, I got a plan to get us out of here. Been working at the convenience store. Managed to save just a little bit of money. Won't have to drive too far. Just cross the border and into the city. You and I can both get jobs and finally see what it means to be living. See, my old man's got a problem. Yeah, but the bottle, that's the way it is. He says his body's too old for working. His body's too young to look like his. My mama went off and left him. She wanted more from life than he could give. I said, somebody's got to take care of him. So I quit school and that's what I did. You got a fast car. Is it fast enough so we can fly away? We gotta make a decision. Leave tonight or live and die this way. So I remember when we were driving in your car. Speed so fast I felt like I was drunk. City lights stay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. Had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car. We go cruise and entertain ourselves. Still ain't got a job. Now work in the market as a checkout girl. I know things will get better. You'll find work and I'll get promoted. We'll move out of the shelter, buy a bigger house and live in the suburbs. So I remember when we were driving in your car, speed so fast it felt like I was drunk. City lights lay out before us, and your arm felt nice wrapped around my shoulder. And I had a feeling that I belonged. I had a feeling I could be someone, be someone, be someone. You got a fast car, I got a job that pays all our bills. Instead of drinking late at the bar, some more your friends than you do your kids. I'd always hope for better, thought maybe together you and me find it. I got no plans, I ain't going nowhere. Take your fast car and keep on driving. You got a fast car, fast enough so you can fly away. You gotta make a decision, leave tonight or live and die this way.
An overnight sensation. Radio East River. Radio East River. Radio East River. Radio East River.
Get ready, Cape Town. Let the games begin. There's more to life introduces Yo Master Race. Get your squad ready to win your share of 5,000 Rand. Race through the streets in an adrenaline-pumping, clue-finding adventure and climb the leaderboard. First 10 teams to enter get a share of 200 points. Score another 200 points as the audience votes for the best dressed squad on the 28th of July at the Athlone Civic Centre. Don't miss out. Enter now via www.tmtl.co.za.
Yo Master Race. So yeah, please go and join that particular event there. I almost swear, but I couldn't swear. It's not the snacks and now yo ma. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed our first topic that we discussed before the break. All about constituency offices, and Mr. Miguel will get back to us around what happens when you go to an office and they have no assistance to you, because we don't want to give you any wrong information through and then you come and say that we have lied to you. So we'll get back to you on that in the next coming weeks or months, or whenever Mr. Miguel come back to us, he will then give us a particular answer. I will now want to discuss with you the important role that the electorate can now should play or be able to play in Parliament. Like you mentioned earlier as well, that people view or say when they're done with elections and their work stops. But you believe that their work continues because there are various different processes where the public are engaged or are part of the process. So what important role does or should the public continue to play even after the elections?
Okay. The electorate, I think we've discussed this. I want to make a plea to each and everyone that is listening now. Don't you ever think that your role ended on the 29th. That was just the beginning, because there would have not been a parliament without your vote. So now, parliament is busy right now. Like I said earlier on, members of parliament were inducted last week. So now, the members of parliament, 454 of them, because the members of parliament in the National Assembly are 400, and then in the other house, the National Council of Provinces are 54. But they are 54 because they are 90 in all together, but the 54 are the ones that are permanently in parliament, and then the other one remains in the provincial legislatures. So these 454 members of parliament are there to represent you as an electorate, but they are there to make the laws. the laws that are made by Parliament, there is a stage that requires you as an electorate to present, to say your say. So that is one of the things that you need to do. If there are public hearings in the Western Cape, and the public hearings get advertised on radio, in the newspaper, and so on, and the bill that is being discussed in those public hearings, go to attend those public hearings. Say what you want to say. Give input, because the clauses in the bill that are there in the bill, the provisions in the bill, are the ones that once this has been passed, and then it is a law of the country. That is the law that will be governing whatever that is being governed. So if you don't say your say at that stage, you are missing out. And then right at the end, there is a law which is governing that particular area, and you have not contributed to it, and then you come back and say, I don't know anything about this. They made the law. Whereas constitutionally, you have a right to contribute. So that is one thing that you, as from now on, you need to be on the lookout for. Be on the lookout for the public hearings that are happening in the province. And then secondly, I spoke about accountability. Accountability is not only because Parliament is responsible for ensuring that the accountability happens, especially when it comes to various government departments. Like I indicated, that Parliament has a right to call on a minister, and the minister can come and answer to Parliament. And then Parliament also goes out on oversight visits and go and check what is happening, whether it's projects, whether there are projects that are happening. Because I remember there were challenges with Metro Rail at some point. The Portfolio Committee on Transport went around to check what are the issues. So that is oversight. So that is done by Parliament. That is done by members of Parliament. But you yourself as an electorate, you also have a responsibility now, after the 29, after you voted, to say, okay, I know that you passed a bill, and then the bill says ABC, but the ABC is not happening. Why is the ABC not happening? So in that way, you are holding the very same public representatives accountable.
Around the public participation process, I was part of a I think when the Western Cape went and they asked a question about the evolution of powers from policing, those types of things. Quite poetic. I can't even pronounce the word now. Yeah. Because of the amount of people that were in that particular venue, it was too small, so they had to move it to a next stage, and then it went online, and then people couldn't go online because of data and all the types of things. Accessibility. Yes. How does Parliament ensure that when we have public participation processes, they are accessible to the majority of people in that particular province? Which areas, or how do you identify a particular area when you have public participation processes?
Okay, I think even when it comes to that, there's Parliament is trying by all means to make sure that they are accessible in terms of identifying the location of where the public hearings happens, because they would go in the Western Cape, so they would identify whether they go to most of the time, but they would go to a certain district, Cederbeck, or they move to Cederbeck, they move to another district, because they are trying to reach as many people as possible. So in that way, that is one, they are trying to be accessible in that way, because they look at what is the issues, what is topical, like maybe they deal with forest, and it could have been that according to the research, the bill deals about forest issues. So now they will go to the district where they see that there are issues around the content or what the bill is trying to address. So that in that way they are trying to be accessible, but they go to various districts in the province. They don't just sit in one district. So in that way they are trying to be as accessible as possible that they can be. So that is one thing. But accessibility goes further than public hearings. I think would agree if I can say that, because like for instance, we have the website, Parliament's website, but that is not the only thing. Parliament's website where you can go to Parliament and listen to and check what is happening in terms of the program of Parliament, and then that you get to access information. And then another thing, which is also embedded or which is derived from the Constitution, the committee meetings, because what you see in the National Assembly, because most of the time we think the work of Parliament only happens in these two houses. So if there are no meetings in the National Assembly or in the National Council of Provinces, members of Parliament are not working. They are still working because they sit in various committees that are attached to different portfolios or different government departments. So those meetings are open to us. So in that way, that promotes access to information. So if, like, for instance, you go to Parliament's website, you see that the Portfolio Committee on Transport is going to be sitting on such a date. You want to hear what is being discussed. That is open. You go and sit there and listen to what is being discussed. In that way, you are getting information. You are getting access to information. Maybe at that particular time, they are discussing a bill as a committee. By the time it gets to the stage of public participation, like with the public hearings that you are referring to, you are more informed. And then you go to the public hearings and make your input in the public hearings. So I think the location of the public hearings is one way that Parliament is trying to be accessible. And then the Constitution also encourages for Parliament to be accessible by opening the committee meetings. And then, like, you have your, which is, I think it's more administrative, you have your Parliament's website. But again, there is a question of, you have people that do not have access to internet. The people that do not have access to internet, that would not be in a position to get that information. There is radio, like now. Most of the people listen to radio. We have a media department in Parliament, which whenever there's going to be public hearings, they make sure that the information get disseminated around when is the public going to be held, and when is it going to be held. Yeah.
On the issue of accessibility, once again, so Parliament is burned down, I think about 2 years ago in December somewhere. Is Parliament then now unconstitutional in terms of not allowing for members of the public to have access to their meetings? So we can't attend Parliament sittings, we can't attend certain committee meetings. Do you think they're acting unconstitutionally right now in this moment of time?
I think it's the safety issue more than anything, because what is it called? The area where Parliament was burnt down was demarcated as the...
So it's this area right now?
Yes, yeah. I think it's more, because you can imagine that also goes with, because these things are legislated, because there are legislations around safety. So I think it's more of a safety issue, because can you imagine you are on site at Parliament and then something happens? So because there needs to be a balance between the legislation, which is also derived from the Constitution, because the Constitution protects you as a South African citizen. So hence maybe there is that, but at the same time there are other means that are there in place for us to access information, like I'm indicating that you can get information on Parliament's website. Like even Parliament, most of the people have phones. Parliament on socials, public, Facebook, with Parliament as a Facebook page, because most of us uses Facebook. and then there's the Twitter page. So on Facebook, you'd see what's happening in Parliament. So in that way, you get to access what happens in Parliament. And not only that, sometimes they would even write down like the content. Our media unit would also put in the content that is sensitizing members of the public of what is happening in Parliament, or even like recently, there was content about how Parliament gets established, which was also uploaded or put on Facebook. So in that way, they are trying to use avenues for the people to get access to information of what is happening in Parliament.
Okay, so we know by now that the National Assembly passes laws. They get bills from the departments, they then vote on it, debate on the matter, go to the committees, they come back, debate again, and then vote, and it becomes sort of a bill, goes to the president, he signs, and it becomes a law of the country. What is the work of the NCOP? Because are they only there to just be there, or what are the actual role and responsibilities in this case?
They play a huge role, because remember the mandate of the the mandate of the NCOP is to represent the interest of the provinces, because they are there to represent the interest of the provinces. In terms of the lawmaking process also involves them. There is no bill that gets passed by Parliament without the NCOP being involved. Like you've explained, you've given a brief overview of the lawmaking process. But once the bill has been passed by the National Assembly, it still goes to the National. There is no way. There's no two way about that. There is no way that the National Assembly will just pass the bill without the involvement. Yeah. So the bill, whether it's a bill that deals with national issues, goes to the National Council of Provinces. The National Council of Provinces also go through it. The National Council of Provinces also ensure that public participation happens, but with them, the slight difference because of their mandate that they represent the provinces. So the public participation exercise or the public hearings happens. They happens with the provincial legislatures. Yeah. So the National Council of Province does not play a minimal role. It plays a huge role in the lawmaking process, and even in terms of holding the executive accountable, which is government. The deputy president would normally go to the National Council of Provinces, and then the National Council of Provinces would ask the deputy president, or would even get a certain cluster of the ministers to go to the National Council of Provinces, and then they will also have to answer to questions that are posed by the National Council of Provinces. So the two houses, they work together. There is no such a thing. It's just that as South Africans, we associate Parliament with National Assembly. And then we tend to forget about the National Council of Provinces, but there's also a National Council of Provinces, because even the members of Parliament themselves are coming from the provinces. So which means the National Council of Provinces is the voice of the provinces at a national level in national parliament. So the issues, the national issues that are affecting the provinces, they move from the provinces to the National Council of Provinces, because that is the mandate of the National Council of Provinces. So it plays a huge role working together with the National Assembly. Yeah.
Last question on the NCOP. So you mentioned that there are 10 members in total from each of the provinces, which basically makes out the 90 members, and they are permanent, and they're also rotational delegates of the NCOP. I've always seen that we have 9 provinces, but normally one province normally is out. It's different compared to all the other 8. So the Western Cape will normally vote against all the other 9 provinces there. So I was going to ask you, how does it work? So, for example, when there's a bill in front of the NCP today, and for example, a bill on what the reason very contentious matter was the NHI bill.
Yeah.
It basically voted against NHI. So, how does it work? Does the entire provincial legislature then or parliament then decide, okay, we're going to support this or we don't? And then go to the NCOP and vote. So how does the voting process work in the NCOP?
Okay, I think it's gonna go back to the issue that I raised about the point that I spoke to about the mandate of the NCOP, because they also consult or speak to the provincial legislatures, and then when they vote with the mandates that they've been given by the provincial legislatures. And then there is in the National Council of Provinces, because the thing is when they get the two-thirds of votes and then the bill goes. So that is what happened. But I'm sure that is why you'd find that, like you are saying, there is always one.
The odd one out there.
The odd one out there. But then the rest, which also comes to the calculations. That's okay. But you've never had a situation where the bill does not get passed in the National Council of Province because of them, of that, because there is a system in place which works that, okay, they need to, as long as the bill gets the 2/3 of the majority, and then it gets passed.
So if a bill comes from Parliament, NCOP, and what happens if the NCOP says, no, we will not support this particular bill? Must it go back to Parliament, or does it just stop there, dead end, must have the process all over again?
There is a process in place for when, because once the bill has been moved has been passed by the National Assembly, and then it goes to the NCOP. And then it so happened that maybe the two houses are not agreeing in agreement. So there is a process that is being put in place, the mediation that happens. So for it, I think for them to reach consensus and agreement. So the mediation is there in place for such instances where maybe the National Council of Provinces does not agree with the bill, so that process kicks in.
Awesome. Okay, we're going to go for a quick air break again, guys. Do stay with us. When we come back, we'll then cover the last final topic of the day. We're still in conversation with Mr. Mngile from Parliament, Education Department. If you would like to ask any question, you can do so via WhatsApp at 064 536 9095, 064 536 9095. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Do you want to take your business to the next level? Advertise with Radio East River by emailing us at admin@radioeastriver.co.za.
Tingling.
Our station, our talent, and our people. You are tuned into the leading internet radio station in the mother city.
They used to tell me. I hope you learn to make it on your own. And if you love yourself, just know you'll never be alone. I hope that you get everything you want and that you chose. I hope that it's the realest thing that you ever know. Hope you get the pretty girls that's pretty at everything. $1 million cribs, having $1 million dreams. And when you get it all, just remember one thing. Remember one thing. That one man could change the world. One man could change the world. All I wanted was $100 million and a bad chick. Imagine this a month, some nights it felt like that I had it. Back on the mattress, staring at the ceiling, trying to connect the dots, but it started making those attachments. I'm talking dreaming so hard, some nights it felt like draft day. You know, My stepbrother used to flip them bags outside the crib like it was trash day. No Kim K, but he back, yeah. But when you're getting fast money, slow down, don't crash. With all the drive in the world, swear you still need gas. Look, think about it. Close your eyes, dream about it. Tell your team about it. Go make $1 million schemes about it. Success is on the way, I feel it in the distance. Used to look up at the stars and be like, ain't too much that's different. I be shining, they be shining. Get your one shot, don't you miss it. What you know about waking up every day like you on a mission. And I hope you learn to make it on your own. And if you love yourself, just know you'll never be alone. I hope that you get everything you want and that you chose. I hope and that's the realest thing that you ever know. Hope you get the pretty girls, it's pretty and everything. $1 million cribs, having $1 million dreams. And when you get it all, just remember one thing. Remember one thing. One man could change the world. One man could change the world. My grandma told me if you write your name in stone, you'll never get the white out. I grinded out that black hole, then performed up at the White House, standing next to Jim Carrey. We traded stories, then laughed. I said, you not the only one I know got rich wearing masks. Where I'm from, I swear they broke. They need way more than the cash. We need more than what you have, and then we need more than that. But how I'm supposed to say I'm tired if that girl from West Virginia came up in conditions that I couldn't survive? Went to war, came back alive. On top of that, became a female black captain. When being black, you had the extra try. Way before James Brown made us proud. She bought a crib on the same street as Marvin Gaye, right there on how to drive. And she taught me how to drive. And she raised the kids, then the kids. And she did it right. Taught me how to love, taught me not to cry. When I die, I hope you teach me how to fly. All my life you've been that angel in the sky. Saying I hope you learn to make it on your own. And if you love yourself, just know you'll never be alone. I hope that you get everything you want and that you chose. I hope that it's the realest thing that you ever know. Hope you get the pretty girls, it's pretty at everything. $1 million cribs, having $1 million dreams. When you get it all, just remember one thing. Remember one thing. That one man can change the world. That one man can change the world.
That's all good. I love you, Grandma.
You are tuned into the leading internet radio station in the Mother City.
Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that music break. I just found out that Mr. Miguel is an introvert like myself, and I must really agree with the we just spoke of around the issue of being introverted. Like we don't like to speak to people. We don't like people at all, but we can speak about topics that we like for hours on end. But also let's see what's celebrated a birthday on the June the 16th on Youth Day. So happy belated birthday to you, Mr. Miguel. I hope interested everything you will come will be a blessing, and there will be more and many more years to come for your life. So yeah, I hope. Did you enjoy your birthday at least, other than the politics?
I did. No one has to enjoy sometimes. Yeah.
Did you go to Paris to?
No, I wish I had that kind of money. No, I didn't. I enjoyed it at home.
Much better there.
Yeah.
Much cheaper as well.
Yeah.
Okay, let's now discuss the last topic for the hour. And I believe that our people that are listening, I hope you really enjoyed and you found whatever we've discussed here is informative. You are always saying that we try to empower you, because when you empower and you have knowledge, you are empowered. So we try to give you as much knowledge as possible, because knowledge is power. And when we have that power, we can make a difference in our lives. I also mentioned that we don't always like politics, but politics loves it very much, because it decides if we will have water tomorrow or if we will have a roof over it. It decides so much for us. So get involved and form part of your decisions and of the decisions of this particular country. So we have talked at length about constituency period. You spoke about how the formulation of policies are made at a national level, the NCOP. So let's now, for example, say the final question I want to ask you on a policy level. So bill is passed by the National Assembly, goes to the NCOP, the president signs the bill into law, and now the law must be implemented. But now the law fails. For example, let's make an example of the NHI bill, for example. The NHI bill has been signed, is now official law of the country. What happens when the minister implements this particular law, but the implementation of it has failed? What is the role of Parliament to ensure that? What role does Parliament play after that when a bill has been unsuccessfully implemented or has have disastrous impacts in our country?
Okay. I think we must remember that the way in which our country is governed, in terms of the separation of powers, government implements the laws, like you are saying. So those laws about giving us services, like for instance, you've made mention of the NHI. NHI would be about the kind of service that would be providing us is the funding that would enable each. That's what the main objectives. Each South Africans get basic healthcare equally, to have access to healthcare equally. That is a service. So let's say the service, the people on the ground, or the South Africans at large, whether you are at whatever class, middle class or whatever class you are, the service that must be that this bill seeks to provide or to give you is not working, and that service is guided or governed by that act, because it is an act at that stage. So now, remember that I spoke about submissions, and then I said the submissions are not only limited when when Parliament calls for us to give input. There is that you can write to Parliament, and then write submissions to Parliament, and then you can also petition Parliament. So if the service, like let's say the services that must be provided, the services, I don't want to speak more about. I want to be as general as possible, but I think the example, I keep triggered by the example of, let's say what NHI intends to do in terms of service, it's not working. There are complaints around that, whether the complaints are from the healthcare professionals, whether the complaints are from us as South Africa and the people that are receiving healthcare. So if Parliament keeps receiving submissions or petitions that are coming from South African citizens, so that is how we would make sure that you raise the issues around the failure. I mean, that would pinpoint or that would highlight the failures of the act itself, or something needs to be done about the act itself, which may require, or the issues that are emanating from the submissions or the petitions that Parliament receives. Maybe those would require Parliament to relook at the provisions of the Act. And then as a result of that can make Parliament can say, okay, maybe here the issue is certain provisions, so we need to make amendments. Or maybe things have moved in terms of development in that particular area, whether it's healthcare or whatever, so we need to make amendments. But those amendments would have not been made. Yes, for sure, the minister would propose that there needs to be amendments. But let's say here, the amendments are informed by what comes out of the submissions that are received by Parliament or the petitions that are received from Parliament. And then that is one way. So Parliament can amend the Act. And then the other way is if the service that is intended by that particular Act is not There are complaints about that. And then they also emanate from the petitions. So that would also allow Parliament to see, okay, there is something that is not happening here with this act. So they do oversight. So they can go visit, like in case of NHI, they can go visit all the hospitals unannounced to see what is happening, whether it's a private, because NHI speaks of, it doesn't matter whether this funding would allow you to, you can be serviced by a private hospital or a government hospital. So they can go visit those hospitals to get the first-hand experience of what the issues there. Or they can even call the Minister of Health, and then the Minister of Health would have to come and explain. We hear maybe out of the submissions or the petitions that we are getting, we hear that the whole health professionals are saying that they are not getting paid from the fund that is proposed by the NHI. So they are not getting paid. What is the issue there? And then the minister would have to respond.
So policy making never actually stops. It is a continuation and it continues forever and ever.
Yes.
Very beautiful process, actually. It really is.
Yes.
What's your view of the importance of being educated civilly in terms of your role as a member of the public? Do you believe it's an important thing that every South African needs to have or to know about?
It's very important. Like, for instance, let's speak about what happened recently with the elections. According to the stats or the data, 27 million people registered, and then out of that, only 16. And then that poses a question. Out of only 16 million voted, so that poses a question. The question is, are we informed enough to know what does voting mean? And then it poses a question even to us as people that are in the space of public education. I'm not going to speak for IEC because they do run voter education. Are we doing enough to equip the voters out there? What does your vote mean? If you don't vote, what happens? So someone else is making it. Because whoever you vote for, you are voting for someone, or let me not say someone. You're voting for a political party that you think they would represent fairly, or you believe in the manifesto that they presented to you, or even not just the manifesto, the policies, their policies. So if you don't vote, Sibongile is voted. So it means Sibongile voted for a certain political party, that political party wins, so someone else decided for you. Sibongile decided for you. You did not vote, so it means nobody, you didn't contribute. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So which means you cannot, yes, you can, because you're a South African citizen, you have every right to use all the channels and all the avenues that are there to raise your concern. But civic education is very important, because we would not be in a situation where we have a huge percentage of people that registered and then a low percentage of people that voted. Because maybe it could be that maybe they don't understand the importance of voting. So which means the importance of understanding and the importance of having the know-how and the knowledge what this means. That will only be done if we get educated. So civic education plays a critical role, even in Parliament, because Parliament is going to be functioning now. So if civic education is not done enough, it means Parliament is there to do what it's supposed to do. But we as electorate, we as people that voted, we sit back and then we don't do anything. That is why we have situations, we've had this ever since I've been in Parliament, where you hear someone saying that there is a law that was passed in 19 whatever year, but I did not agree with that year. With the content of that law, but it did not say anything. And you got instances where people are saying, no, I mean, when in our workshops, I've never had people coming to us and workshop us about the bill. And then you ask yourself, this has been in place since 1994. So it comes back to civic education, that civic education plays a critical role. It is, without it, people would not be equipped, would not have a depth of the information that they require to participate and to use their constitutional right.
Where do you think it should start? Do you think it should start at school level, on high school, on university level, college level? Where must the process start of educating people based on what their rights and duties are as citizens of South Africa?
I think at school level, because I know some, do we still call them subjects? I'm not sure. I'm old enough. I know some subjects covers that kind of content, but I think they cover it as an like abstract.
This part, like I know when I was in school, 2018 last, we did ELO, and then ELO was part. There was only like one page, for example, where they would talk to us about the elections. Then we had business studies, only one page or two will talk to you about the election, but it's basically all, but nothing about what your duties and roles are. Like I read an article, and when Zuma went to jail, and people were like, okay, so he doesn't want to go to jail, so I also just tell the court I will not go to jail. And the judge told them that ignorance in front of the law will not stand as a defense for you. So if you come to the court today and you say, okay, I didn't know that law exists, that will not be evidence for you, because you also could go to jail, because your duty as a citizen is to understand and know all the laws of our country. And even though you don't even know there's this particular law clause in the constitution or whatever law book, when you have your ID at 18, you then say, okay, now I will obey and respect all the laws of the Republic, even though I know them or not. So I think we are failing our country as a whole, and it comes down to everyone, even our political parties. I spoke to one, I know I'm going out, I spoke to one person during the election. He's a member for the ACDP. He was a councillor candidate in 2021. And he came to me and he asked me the question, why are we not doing enough? Because I was working with the IEC at that point. Why aren't we doing enough to educate the voters about the elections? And I'm aware that the IEC and Parliament gives parties money to educate the voters, and they don't do that. He wants me to go now to the IEC, said we must now educate the voters about the elections. And it comes down to the parties also taking responsibility for their own electorate to educate and develop them also on the importance of voting, and after forming part of the broader view and discussion around our country in general.
Yes, yeah, because I think politically, from political perspective or from political parties, I think they, as during election year, their concern, I mean, their focus would be more on getting, on campaigning, vis-a-vis educating. So there is no balance. But I think maybe it's because they know that there is IEC, which is responsible for doing that. And then, for example, like whether there's no election year or whatever, there are other institutions that are responsible for that. And then, like, for instance, we have an office, like our office in Parliament, which is also responsible for that. But like you are saying, it is important. It's very important.
I want to ask a question now about youth engagement in politics, but also in the election, or in politics in general, in Parliament as well. Why do you believe young people must be part and parcel of the work of Parliament, the work of politics? They might not be able to join a political party, but just be involved and understand what's happening in our country. And how can we get them interested in it as well?
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay. I think you've said it. You said that, I think you've said something about not liking politics, but politics it's what
very much.
Yeah, it's your bread and butter issue, because without politics there would be no roads, schools would not be functional. So but so to answer your question is it's important for the youth to engage or to be active in such things, because can you imagine if in your community there are things that are not in place. But all you do, you mourn. You don't say, you don't raise them with the councillor. And you don't raise them you don't go to the municipality. But I just want to focus mainly on because we are governed by the laws. If you don't engage even the law itself, engaging it at the level of, I know, because even for us, the language that is used in how they write the law, it's very complicated. Yeah. But I think we need to find spaces, not spaces, we need to find platforms where we engage amongst ourselves, because you do get people that can read like an act or even a bill and get it and understand it. But you do get bills that are plain, that are simple, that are easy to read. But what I'm trying to say, if you understand the acts, you know the acts, because those acts govern everything. You know why that act exists. Like, for instance, the NHI. If you know and understand what NHI entails, National Health Insurance, what it entails, so you engage. You have platforms where, as youth, you engage around that. If there's something that is not happening, which the NHI speaks about, so you are in a better position to shape that by using the mechanisms that I spoke about, by writing to Parliament, writing a subposition, by petitioning Parliament. So you are in a better position, but that would have started with the engagement amongst your peers, or not even just with your peers. You organized yourself, not to organize yourself when you protest. But protest is a constitutional right. But you organize yourself to engage on this. Okay, I hear the president has signed the NHI into an act. Let's engage on it. What is this act about? Even if you rope in, because you've got people in our communities that have studied law. You've got lawyers, so which understand the technicality of how these bills are written. Even if you rope them in, we want to understand it. You are better equipped. You have an understanding. So if things don't go right, you take out. You say no. According to the NHI, this is what is supposed to be happening, and then you are in a better position to influence, or even to write to Parliament to say this is not happening, this is not in place. So youth engagement is very important.
It really is. I'm just imagining now Parliament's new building right now, the drum, the tree, and all the new elements that will be in a new design. And it comes down to the point that you mentioned right now of engagement, where we are all sitting under that particular parliamentary tree and discussing matters which matters most to us. You mentioned that we complain too much, and really that is. We complain about everything. Like, I remember a couple of years ago, when load shedding was really severe, there were days of our power was off for days on end, and there was no communication from the councillor to us or whatever. And I had to literally phone him, "Councillor, what's happening? When will the power come on?" Then we would hear, okay, they stole cables. But no one said anything in our road. No one protested. No one in the WhatsApp group, on the Facebook page, no one said anything about the power. They just complain. And it comes down to the fact that we are not doing enough as the public to hold our executive and our councils and our politicians accountable. The final question to you, Mr. McGille, accountability. Yes. We voted for them on the 29th of May. They are there now. They have their fancy houses in Cape Town. They have their big salaries in Parliament. How do we now hold those people that we voted for? Be it the ANC, the DA, the MK party, the EFF, and all the other parties. How do we hold our MPs, our parties accountable at the National Assembly and NCOP level to ensure that what they have promised to us in the manifesto and in the rallies, to now bring that to the fore? What and how can we do that?
Okay, I think we spoke about this, because I think it comes from you go to the constituency, you request a meeting with the member of parliament, because now you have equipped yourself. You understand that there's a constituency period. You understand what needs to happen during the constituency period. So you speak to the member of parliament about the issues that are happening, and then the member of parliament takes those issues up to parliament. So in that way, you are following the right channels and then the right processes to take up issues to parliament, and then to even hold them accountable, because once this issue goes as far as parliament, like I indicated, parliament would even direct or address the issue with the department through the mechanisms that are in place, through questions and reply by ministers, the member statement, because the MP would raise those issues. But after that, Parliament would have to get an understanding why this is not happening, why we keep receiving complaints about this issue, and then they call the minister. So in that way, you are holding them accountable. And then the basic one for me is to keep yourself informed. By keeping yourself informed, by understanding, like what I was just said now, by understanding what the act is about, what the bill is about. And then when you see that things are not happening in a way that they're supposed to be happening, you write to Parliament, but you would have raised the issues with the municipalities. So in that way, you are holding them accountable. That is holding them accountable, because they will have to respond to your petition. Because imagine if you come together and then you petition on the issue, Parliament will have to respond to your question. You are not sitting back, but in that way, you are holding them accountable. That this is what is expected, and we are not getting this. So now we are writing to you because we are seeking intervention from Parliament, and Parliament would intervene. So in that way, you are holding them accountable, especially the ones that are not doing what they are supposed to be doing. So it's Parliament, it's Parliament calling on them, but it's you who started the whole thing, because Parliament would have not known, because they would say that there are issues that are common in the Eastern Cape, in the Western Cape, in the Free State that are happening. So surely there's something that is not working around this particular issue, and then therefore we need to get the answers or the first-hand experience, and then they conduct oversight. But in that way, you are not sitting back, you are holding them accountable for as long as you follow the right channels and then you use the right avenues, like I indicated here.
Okay, let's go for a quick break again, guys. When we come back, we will then say our final goodbyes to you as we end off this discussion on the important role that you can play as the members of the public in the parliamentary process. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Hey, Mr. Brown, feeling down? Listen to the leading internet radio station in Cape Town. Verpletter plesier, luister naar Radio Eerste Rivier. Dis ons stasie, ons talent en julle bly lekker, onze mense.
Feel good, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know about you. In a prison or a hospital, when I boss it, my thing them costly. I remember when I used to hustle in the flats and the neighbors didn't have no love for me. Switch it up now, everything blessed. Hit the stage with the girlie say yeah, 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 yeah. When them rise up against me looking at them eyes and say, hey! Destiny, can't touch my destiny. Them I try everything, them I try take me life, but I won't let them get the best of me. Destiny, can't touch my destiny. They can take everything I have, they can take my life, they can't touch my destiny. Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Don't know, man, I got
as I talk. Man, I slice up your head like a Barbados. Tell you not really want to start with us. Cause we dangerous and hazardous. Scar, beep beep when I'm parking up. California weed, man, I'm sparking up. And I see me enemies, them charging up. Cause we never smile when them try laugh with us. As a little youth, it was hard enough. Cause the older guys, them was starving us. So we hustle till me start, live marvelous. Roll deep like I'm driving a party bus. We was just a bunch of fucking foreigners. No one to trust, I know that they don't want me here. Came a long way from standing on the corridors. Ducking feds and the coroners. Hey! Destiny, can't touch my destiny. Them I try everything, them I try take my life, but I won't let them get the best of me. Destiny, can't touch my destiny. They can take everything I have, they can take my life, they can't touch my destiny. Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Destiny, can't touch my destiny. Them I try everything, them I try take my life, but I won't let them get the best of me. No. Destiny, can't touch my destiny. They can take everything I have, they can take my life, they can't touch my destiny. Hey! Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Tune in to the leading internet radio station in the mother city, Radio East River. For more information, log on to our website, which is www.radioeasterriver.co.za.
Okay, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that lekker one there as we conclude our show on this rather windy and stormy Monday afternoon. I just want to say a salutation to Mr. Richard Yas for sending blessings into our Facebook Facebook Live. Thank you for joining us today, sir. Mr. Mungile, any last words as we conclude this interview today? Over to you.
Okay. I think it's everything else that has been discussed is, to conclude, is on us playing an active role. When I say us, I'm referring to us as voters, us as electorate, to play a critical role in terms of ensuring that we participate more. We don't react, because I think most of the time we react. We empower ourselves. We make sure that we have a basic understanding of our rights, that our rights start here and end here. And I'm going to go back to the point that I raised, I think not once throughout the interview, about the us and them. Let's move away from that notion of the us and them. Parliament is accessible. Parliament is for us, because there would have not been a parliament without our votes. So let's not end our role at the election on the election day. Let's see that as the beginning or the start of everything. Let's make sure that we are active in what is happening in Parliament. Yes, sometimes there might be challenges, but let's bring those challenges forward. We have such challenges. Even maybe we have challenges of, like your question about, because I need to go back and find out about it. What happens if I don't get assistance in the NCOP? How do I lodge a complaint? Not only lodge a complaint, how do I raise that as a concern so that it must be corrected? In that way, that is one way of being active, by doing that, because you see, you know that there is a platform for you to be active. But if that platform is not working, what is it that you need to do? Because if we don't do that, you would always be complaining, would always be receiving laws that we don't contribute to, but not because there are no spaces for us to contribute, but it's because we don't know those spaces that they exist. So I would say let us be active as much as we can.
Awesome stuff. Active citizenry. And that's the last word from Sibongile. From my side, Yvonne and Fritz, thank you once again for joining us, guys. I know it's cold. I know that winter's here. And please, guys, do stay safe. If you can, run in your bed. Go sleep. Go put on Netflix and enjoy the bed. Let's stay out of the roads because it really is dangerous out there. And then lastly to everyone, if you are of the means, let's spare a thought for all those who are not at advantage this time. They don't have a house, they don't have a meal to eat. If you can, let's support those who do not have. From my side, DEWANDRE, FRITZ, team and Radio Yesterday. Until next week, Monday, same time, same place. God bless you all. Bye-bye.
Do you want to take your business to the next level? Advertise with Radio East River by emailing us at admin@radioeastriver.co.za.
Molweni emakhaya Radio East River maneka kuzo zonke social media platforms.
resident in my heart. You are a citizen.
Radio Server.
You are listening to Radio Yesterova. Welcome to the leading internet radio station in the Mother City. There are many ways to stream our shows. Visit us on our Facebook page, live at Radio Yesterova. Also, visit us on our website, www.radioyesterova.co.za, or download the Radio Yesterova app, available and supported on any and all smart devices. Radio Yesterova, die ding ruk hier.
Do you want to take your business to the next level? Advertise with Radio Yesterova by emailing us at admin@radioyesterova.co.za. Radio Yesterova, onze stasie, onze talent, onze mense. WhatsApp ons by 064 536 9095. Talk to us, die ding ruk hier.
You are listening to Radio Yesterova. Our station, our talent, and our people.
Get ready, Cape Town. Let the games begin. There's more to life introduces your master race. Get your squad ready to win your share of 5,000 Rand. Race through the streets in an adrenaline-pumping, clue-finding adventure and climb the leaderboard.
First 10 teams to enter get a share of 200 points.
Score another 200 points as the audience votes for the best dressed squad
on the 28th of July at the Athlone Civic Centre.
Don't miss out. Enter now via www.tmtl.co.za.
The Butcher's Market. Looking for incredible value? Explore our fantastic range of products here at TBM at Zamberi Square on the corners of Baden Powell Drive and Old 40 Road for your halal meats.
Welkom terug op Radio
siyafumaneka abantu, siyafumaneka guys. Inombolo yethu ngu-064 536 9095. Radio Yesterova, Radio Yesterova, Radio Yesterova, Radio Yesterova, Radio Yesterova, Radio Yesterova. Onze statie, onze talent in onze mensen.